I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Hi, everybody. My name's Dr. Scott Giacomucci. I'm the director and founder of the Phoenix Center for Experiential Trauma Therapy in Media, Pennsylvania. Wanted to take a moment to talk about post-traumatic growth. So post-traumatic growth is in some ways the opposite of post-traumatic stress. It's the phenomenon of growing after trauma or after adversity. This phenomenon, of course, has been around really forever. You can find examples of it in any spiritual books or historical books or religious books. But the clinical study of it's relatively new. In the research, they're finding that post-traumatic growth is actually more common than post-traumatic stress disorder. 2 out of 3 trauma survivors report some sort of growth after experiencing trauma or adversity, whereas only 1 out of 4 adults that experience trauma will develop post-traumatic stress disorder. So you're almost 2.5 times more likely to experience growth after trauma than you are to develop PTSD. Now, these 2 different experiences can exist concurrently at the same time. So it's not uncommon that one might experience post-traumatic growth and post-traumatic stress at the same time. But I find the idea and just talking about post-traumatic growth to be incredibly hopeful for my clients. Many times as trauma therapists, we can get overly focused on the trauma itself. And there's definitely a place for talking about the trauma and addressing the trauma directly. Many of the clients I've worked with have been in therapy for years, and they've told their trauma stories again and again. And they're wondering, where do I go from here? I've told the story, and it's been helpful to be seen and heard to some degree, but I need some sort of roadmap of now what? And so the concept of post-traumatic growth really gives us a direction and guidance on what it looks like in general to grow after trauma, what it looks like for someone to really tap into post-traumatic growth and healing and transformation after experiencing trauma or after working through post-traumatic stress symptoms. So there's 5 different categories of post-traumatic growth, 5 different ways that it normally manifests within somebody's life. One of the categories is a new sense of personal strength. So after experiencing trauma, I might realize that I'm a lot more resilient than I thought I was. Or I might come to accept that I have a whole lot more courage and determination than I ever could have imagined. And I wouldn't have known that or tapped into it if it wasn't for the trauma I had experienced. So it's quite common that we leave trauma with a new sense of personal strength.
I'm sorry. You remember in the first hour when I said Satan's name means adversary? And that Satan is a psychological personal trainer? And here we have a clinician saying, after a traumatic event, it is entirely possible for you to come out on the other end stronger. So So, wait, hold on. You can come out stronger than you were before. So does that mean the pain had a purpose? Does that mean the trauma had a purpose? And let me explain something to you. A lot of y'all consider yourselves better when you're really just bitter. See, when you jaded and you still holding on to what you thought should have been or what you thought you could have said, or if you still holding on to a desire to say something that you feel like you didn't have an opportunity to say, you're not healed. You're still hurt. And as I put it in my relationship dismount book, embittered and embattled is what you are. I love Iyanla Van Zant when she said, this is how you know you over something. When you can talk about it and there's no residue of the anxiety or angst you may have had when talking about it before. Do you see? So a lot of folk swear they good, swear they healed. If you healed, then enjoy your healing. Your attention should be nowhere else but on your healing. Everything that happened prior to your healing should be a distant memory. Shouldn't even know nothing about it. No, I don't know what's going on. Right? I'm going to tell you right now, just like a narcissist can fake empathy, there are a lot of people out there who fake healing. Ooh. All that wound got to do is get triggered again. And you'll see. Right back to the surface. Go ahead, Andy.
But if it wasn't for the trauma I had experienced. So it's quite common that we leave trauma with a new sense of personal strength. The next category is an enhanced sense of importance in relationships. So much of trauma is relational, and it happens at the hands of other human beings. So it's common that we look for good people in our lives, or we come to have additional gratitude or a sense of importance.
Pause.
For the...
This is bad advice. This is where psychology needs spirituality. It's important that we look for good people. Listen, not good people. It doesn't mean they won't hurt you. Gosh, some of these beliefs are childish. It's important that we look for good people. What if you yourself aren't a good person? This is what I'm saying. You can't pick and choose spirituality. You just simply cannot. Relationships are spiritual. And whatever in you needs reconciliation via the elevation from subconscious to conscious, that's why that person is there. Even in the healing process, we got victim languaging. And we got to get rid of the victim languaging if we're going to move up the spectrum of healing. Go ahead, finish.
Good people in our lives, or we come to have additional gratitude or a sense of importance for the healthy relationships that we have. After experiencing trauma, it's only natural that we turn to people close to us for support and to help regulate ourselves, to help validate and to help heal and hear us out and see us in our pain and in our trauma. So after experiencing trauma...
I'm telling you, 10, 20 years from now, you're going to see it. Self-validation. Self-acknowledgement is going to trump all of that. I need somebody else. Not from a narcissistic place, but from the space of recognizing that you are a drop in the ocean. And that just because you've been extrapolated from the ocean, that doesn't stop you from being the ocean. Meaning, the divine is in you. And just because you have incarnated on planet Earth as a human being with an ego, that doesn't separate you from the universal field of existence. Do you understand? I want everybody to go get this book. It's called The Field. The Quest for the Secret Force of the Universe by Lynn McTaggart. The field. Remember, Einstein said the field is what determines the electron. The field. That's the name of the book, The Field. The Quest for the Secret Force of the Universe. See, the scientists got all kind of clever ways to speak on God. Do you understand? The God in you, right, does not need external validation. Somebody meme it. The God in you does not need external validation. The ego in you is what needs external validation. Your personality. It's okay. You were born a child. You were born into a family. Right? You were taught a certain way. You cling to them. It's okay. But at some point, if we want to get to a space of self-actualization, self-realization, right? Nirvana, as they call it, moksha, right? We're going to have to get to that point. I'm telling you, we're going to get there soon. Attila from Houston, Texas, get in here and give us your final thoughts.
Uncle Zoe, okay, so you brought up a really good point about being good or what it means to be a good person. And something that kind of came to me was, how would you know goodness if you never actually experienced it, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it's kind of the same thing of what we're talking about, meaning we have experiential knowledge of certain things based on what someone modeled to us and what we liked about it, right? Mm-hmm. That's still all measurement is doing. It's not necessarily being, right? So I think until you know what it is to be something, then you don't really have any recourse other than what's been mimicked for you. So that's my final thought.
Oh, Lord. Attila, guess what you just did?
Probably Houston in the building.
Houston, Texas is in the building. We appreciate it. This is the nexus. The voice of reason is the nexus. This is where psychology, philosophy, spirituality, religiosity, this is where it all intersects through relationship conversation. Do you understand? That's what this is about. Los Angeles, get up in here. I want to hear from y'all. All you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. When I come forward, the voice of reason shall continue talking to the folks all over the nation, but y'all got to speak on it. I know a lot of people are hurting. I know you hurt people. I've hurt people. People have hurt me. We are all hurting. But I'm here to tell you there's a purpose for it. When we come forward, we're going to talk about it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, Tavis Smiley here. We're getting closer to June 18th, and time is running out for you to register to join us for our historic symposium live on C-SPAN, Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com right now if you want to be in the audience when the nation will see for the first time ever a stage full of brilliant black folk talking about the urgency of now. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. It's all going down. Well, it's actually all going up. Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. live from the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Again, admission is free, but we're filling up fast. So if I were you, I would log on right now to KBLA1580.com to reserve your seat. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. We're KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
If we're the ones disproportionately impacted by these climate catastrophes,
Why should we be silent?
turning up the volume all year long on the climate conversation for KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA delegation, listen up. Not feeling yourself lately? Has your weight loss dreams, have they turned into a weight gain nightmare? Have you been chasing those 20 pounds for the last 20 years? Then it's time for D-Herbs. D-Herbs Full Body Cleanse is a natural cleansing regimen that can help you lose 20 pounds in 20 days. The Full Body Cleanse will also boost your immune system and improve your digestion. With summer just right around the corner, stop chasing the 20-pound weight loss and propel yourself into a healthier lifestyle. To reboot your system and lose those 20 pounds, just go to deherbs.com and order your full body cleanse or call 866-434-3727. Mention KBLA 1580 and get 10% off your order. deherbs.com. Experience healing.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Life's challenges are not meant to paralyze you. They're supposed to help you find out who you are. I'm Ben Aarons, co-founder of Reorigin, where we teach you how to reclaim your health by retraining your brain. And in this video, we're going to dive into the topic of post-traumatic growth, what it is, how to foster it, and why it's going to help you with your healing and recovery journey. So let's get into it. I want to take a look at an article that was recently published in Harvard Business Review about 5 phases of post-traumatic growth. But first, what is PTG, or post-traumatic growth? Well, we all know that post-traumatic stress is something that can happen after a challenging event. Whether it's an illness, an injury, an accident, or any major life stressor, can leave us feeling senses of fear, even manifesting in physical trauma, in senses in the body, felt sensations of fear and trembling and anxiety and things like that. And we know from a neurological perspective that trauma can actually dysregulate the nervous system. And the nervous system controls the beating of the heart, our breath, and all of the functions of the organs and systems throughout the body. So it's no surprise that more and more research is coming out these days showing the far-reaching impacts of stress and trauma and challenging events on our physical health. Now, there's this interesting phenomenon, however, that was discovered in the mid-1990s by 2 clinical psychologists. Their names are Richard Tedeschi and Lawrence Calhoun. And what they discovered was that some people, when faced with a challenge, actually seem to grow stronger because of it. They develop an improved outlook on life. And this doesn't happen overnight. It usually takes them time to process it and in some ways reappraise the situation as something that can actually help them grow. But in the end, they do grow and they move forward in a way where they can go even far beyond where they feel they might have been able to go prior to the event. This is actually something I experienced myself with going through chronic Lyme disease. You can check out my TED Talk. And
listen, I love the talk, but I want to talk. This happened with my son. My son, New Williams, professional ball player, man. Tore his ACL junior year of high school. Man, it was heartbreaking to see that. He had all those scholarships, and now everybody pulled away from him after he tore his ACL. I don't know. Who did we just lose? Because I was about to go to them. Nicole, get back on here. Get back on here, Nicole. 1-800-920-1580. But yeah, all of the colleges left him because he tore his ACL. And I just stayed on him. We gonna work out. And one of the things that was told to him by his physical therapist was, hey man, how high were you jumping before you tore your ACL? And my son was like, oh, like 41, 40. He said, we're gonna tack on 7 to 9 more inches. He literally got better because of the injury. Just so happens he's being trained by a professor at USC in biomechanics. So now he's learning how to move to prevent injury. So not only is he more explosive, he's a better player because of what he learned through the injury. That's what PTG sounds like. We got callers on the line. Let's get them in here. Nzinga from Pensacola, Florida. And Nicole, please call back. We want to talk to you. Let's go.
Hello?
Hey, welcome to the show, Nzinga.
Thanks. Good evening, Mr. Bell.
Yes.
So I was interested in the, I think last week you mentioned the reality tunnel. And of course, I never heard of it. So I had to look it up. And I liked it because it feels like the antithesis to the mob thing, to, kind of like what I think is right and what you think is wrong. Because sometimes I think, when people disagree, it's a breeding ground for disrespect. The reality tunnel allows new perspective. It allows you to grow a little bit. It allows people to kind of heal where they're at, and it allows other people to let people heal where they're at. Because I think sometimes
I'm listening. No,
there's
go
a
ahead.
lot of I don't want to say these words, but sometimes it just feels like there's a lot of conceit when it comes, because these are all theories. There's so many different ones. You mentioned algebra, because to me math was the only absolute. But
and even that ain't absolute.
Days ago,
Right.
Terrence Howard came on and he shook the table, kind of like. So now it's like, okay, well, 0 times 1 ain't 0 more. What do you mean? So I just think that
shook the table.
Think that yeah, he really did, and I think that the reality tunnel just ushers in respect. Maybe I don't agree with that, but I see where you are. And when you're ready, I have some other things that you can hook into, or so that way you can gain more perspective.
Right.
Because awareness just comes suddenly. It's not something that you can put on a timer.
Right.
People, the light bulb comes on when it's going to come on.
Right.
And I just, I do have, you mentioned the observer last week too. And you mentioned this healing circle when people aren't, maybe you're around 3 or 4 people and they're really kind of at the beginning of their healing journey and they're not quite where you are. But like your favorite person, Krishnamurti, if you're observing, and I think it's his observer theory, it allows you not to internalize that. Because if you're just observing, you're not really internalizing. You're just seeing it for what it is, and you're kind of on the outside looking in, so to speak.
This is good.
And how whatever they're going through, and you're not even judging it. You know, it's just what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll pray that they'll maybe, and I don't even think like, oh, they're going to get to where I'm at. Because, like, you know, Rocco said, you just do you and I'm going to do me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not necessarily always a bad thing. And,
Right.
you know, sometimes just, you know, it's not a bad thing. It's just that's where you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just have a question. Do you think extreme empathy is a side effect of PTG? And is that would you consider that a negative?
No, I mean, it depends on where it's directed. Extreme empathy for self, I think is absolutely amazing. Empathize with oneself, right? You're not perfect, so give yourself grace. Empathize with your imperfections. I think that's a beautiful thing to do. I think oftentimes it's easier to criticize ourselves and allow negative self-talk to kind of erode our self-confidence, our self-awareness. Like we want to hide when our biggest critic is ourselves. This is why we put on a damn good show for the world, because we would dare not let the world see who we really are. Right? I get on here day in and day out and tell you every mistake in a relationship that has ever been made, I probably made it 10 or 20 times. I get on here and tell y'all, and I urge people who are in this relationship talk space, regardless of the letters behind your name or regardless of, you know, what you've accomplished in life, just tell people I'm a human being, flawed. And every day I move a little bit in the right direction on the spectrum of being just all right. And that's okay. Do you understand what I'm saying? Have you seen, I got to ask you this, Nzinga. Have you seen the scale of the suns? Just when we come forward, we're going to talk about it. Man, this is fire.
So I promise I'm not leaving. Only a fool with me won't try to deceive. I give my word to. I would die for. Girl, I live for. Said I breathe for. I adore. No one but. Came right on time. So every word this song's gonna be about you. Every word, every line, every phrase.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Girls from over a dozen states were in Atlanta this past weekend for the Black Girls Dream Conference. Officials with the conference say it is held with the aim of cultivating confidence in young Southern African American girls. Over 1,300 people attended this year's conference, which featured numerous panels on technology and artificial intelligence and their links to the lives of African American females. A parent has been charged with disorderly conduct after rushing on stage and stopping a school superintendent from shaking his daughter's hand at a high school graduation in Wisconsin. Matthew Eddy, who is white, is accused of jumping on stage and moving the administrator, who was black, out of his daughter's path. Off-duty police intervened and Eddy was taken out of the gym. He faces $1,000 in fines and 90 days in prison if convicted. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
You're accused of a crime. Don't rely on public defenders who don't have time to listen. Call Bulldog Law. Get a fighter on your side with Bulldog Law. SoCal's most powerful lawyers. Dial pound 250 and say keyword Bulldog. Or go to thebulldog.law. It's time to bite back.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at KBLA 1580.
Follow the leader.
Are you ready?
The station leading the way with exclusive interviews,
Follow the leader.
stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA delegation, listen up! Not feeling yourself lately? Has your weight loss dreams, have they turned into a weight gain nightmare? Have you been chasing those 20 pounds for the last 20 years? Then it's time for D-Herbs. D-Herbs Full Body Cleanse is a natural cleansing regimen that can help you lose 20 pounds in 20 days. The Full Body Cleanse will also boost your immune system and improve your digestion with summer just right around the corner. Stop chasing the 20-pound weight loss and propel yourself into a healthier lifestyle. To reboot your system and lose those 20 pounds, just go to dherbs.com and order your Full Body Cleanse or call 866-434-3727. Mention KBLA 1580 and get 10% off your order. dherbs.com. Experience healing.
Tips to help improve your credit score in 2024. Establishing credit is an important key to achieving financial health, but building a credit history from scratch can feel challenging since you need credit to build credit. First, what does it mean to build credit? All consumers have a score between 300 and 850. You want your score to be as high as possible as lenders look at your credit score to make loan and credit decisions. A good credit score shows you have a track record of borrowing money responsibly. Remember, it's never too late to build or rebuild your credit. This segment is sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Single Moms Planet is a nonprofit organization dedicated to uplifting under-resourced single mom business owners and working mothers nationwide. Single Moms Planet offers comprehensive programs of financial literacy, business development, mentorship, and entrepreneurial training. They provide education, accountability, and hope. Single Moms Planet was founded by model, TV personality, and producer Nefertari Plessy. Nefertari felt firsthand the challenges that face single moms as she was raised by a working single mother. She learned that the most disadvantaged group in the United States are single mom families. According to the U.S. Census, 30% live under the poverty line. So she decided to do something about it, along with co-founder Cole Patterson. Their goal is to end the poverty cycle in single mother households through education, opportunity, and networking, providing family and child enrichment programs for under-resourced single-parent families. Single Moms Planet serves over 10,000 single moms and their children each year. Studies show that business development and financial literacy provide a positive environment for children and families, exposing them to new possibilities and opportunities. To attend one of their fun events, make a donation, or get more information, Or if you need help as a single mom, please visit singlemomsplanet.org. That's singlemomsplanet.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I just want to give you good love, love, love. Let's make a love connection. If you think you're ready, I just want to bring you good love, love, love. Let's make a love connection. Yeah. Girl, you ain't been loved. Ain't been loved quite right in a long, long time. Yeah. I can hear your body calling mine. Your eyes can't lie. Oh, I just wanna make your body shiver, give you butterflies. From the kind of sex you can't deny. Oh, I promise.
Sometimes things happen in life that we just can't control. Sometimes they are good things, but sometimes they are bad things. Failures, challenges, mistakes, they happen to the best of us. Today I want to introduce you to a completely new way of thinking about the bad things that happen to us. Specifically, this is a concept called post-traumatic growth. If you or someone you care about has gone through a difficult experience, then this is a video you have to watch. We hear a lot about the devastating effects of PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder, but researchers Tedeschi and Lawrence Calhoun discovered an interesting phenomenon that can happen after someone experiences a trauma. Specifically, they found that people often report 3 ways in which their psychological functioning increases after a challenge. These are ways that our mind can grow after adversity. Post-traumatic growth, or PTG, refers to the positive mental shift experienced as a result of adversity. Tedeschi found that across a wide range of negative experiences, as many as 90% of survivors report at least one PTG benefit. PTG does not say that trauma is not destructive and challenging. It does not imply that victims should be able to simply bounce back to a normal life after adversity. Rather, PTG evidence shows us that over time, people can reap benefits from their challenges. Post-traumatic growth holds a very important idea. We don't bounce back from challenges, we bounce forward.
Love it.
There are some specific areas that researchers have found change after adversity. First, relationships. Some people describe that they come to value their friends and family more deeply after a trauma and don't take people for granted. There is also often an increased sense of compassion and longing for more intimate relationships. Second, self-esteem. While some might think that experiencing trauma might make you feel like a victim, many people feel that their challenge gave them a deeper inner wisdom, personal strength, and gratitude. Trauma can even help people be more accepting of their vulnerabilities and limitations. Third, meaning. Trauma can radically change and re-engineer people's life perspective. Oftentimes, after a challenge, individuals reevaluate their purpose and mission, becoming less materialistic and more able to live in the present. If you have experienced a trauma or major...
Ooh-wee! I hope y'all listening. Before I go back to this caller, you know who she is. I got this right here, I gotta say. Human beings, each one, right through the world, go through great agonies. The more sensitive, the more alert, the more observant, the greater the suffering, the anxiety, the extraordinary sense of insoluble problems. The great Krishnamurti. The more sensitive you are, the more tapped in you are to that kind of suffering. but there's always a purpose for it. There's always a reason for its existence. We seem to think that pain's only purpose is to be run away from. The purpose of pain, when you see pain, pain is like an agent in the Matrix. When pain shows up, do not confront it. You do like the rest of us. You run. That's how most people deal with pain. But pain has a purpose. Neo understood. Now I got to go through. I got to go through, literally, go through Agent Smith in order to become the one. Man, even bigger than that, I literally got to die. Agent Smith killed him. You know who died in that hallway? His identity, his ego. And what was reborn was the one. And every one of us is the one. And Zinga, let me get your final thoughts. Get in here.
Hey, you said to remind you about the scales of the sun?
Yes.
The sun scale?
Yes, and I was talking about healing, right? And I said healing is on a spectrum. And I said, if you looked up the sizes of suns, our sun is considered like a cool size sun, right? When you think about the planet Earth, first off, planet Earth, 300 Earths can fit into Jupiter.
Mm-hmm.
And the sun is way bigger than Jupiter. So just think about it. Like, our sun is considered like an average size kind of sun. Like, it's kind of cool. Our sun is like Kobe, 6'6". You know how many 6'6" players have been in the league? It's the average size. When they start showing the spectrum of super suns, these ginormous gas giants, when they show these suns, our sun looks like a grain of sand. And I'm saying that is the spectrum of healing. And because it's on a spectrum like that, there's no way our ego should get involved in terms of where we are along that spectrum. Sure, we might be shining bright relative to where we are and what's around us, but there are other people that are more healthy in terms of their spiritual journey, more healed, and there are some people that are less healed. Sometimes the light from your healing has to be the light shown on what they need to do to heal. Not that you healed them. Sometimes the light from your healing is the warmth they need to get motivated. That's it. You can't take credit for that. Just the heat from me sparked you. Now pass your spark on. Do you see? That's it. No need for ego and judgment and condescension. No need for any of that. Does that make sense?
It does.
All right.
Almost like your healing is a instruction manual for them.
For you.
Or a living instruction.
Just for you. But that heat that come off of it, that could spark their manual. See, your manual is yours. But the heat from your work, if they're in close enough proximity within your heliosphere, can spark them to read their own, to create their own. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Man, I appreciate you, Nzinga. What did you just do?
Oh, I brought Pensacola in the building.
Pensacola, Florida is in the building. We appreciate Nzinga, man. We on fire tonight. Let's get J-Dub up in here real quick. J-Dub, what up? South Central Los Angeles. Talk to us, J-Dub.
Hey, my brother. First thing, before I bring my analogies into play, I would like to say we all are equipped from the foundation of the universe with every ability we need to have from God, the master grand architect of the universe or creator. Now, in terms of that expression, the term you use post-traumatic pain.
Post-traumatic growth.
I'm gonna use growth. Correction. I'm gonna use the analogy of a seed then planted in the earth. As it germinates, that sprout is going through the pain and friction of going into the soil. And once it breaks through the soil, and you have made a reference about being truly healed, you develop into whatever that plant is at the base, and the roots is something that you still forget about over time once you spread limbs and branches, and you're expanding in reference to growth or developing or maturing. Now, and that's all a universal thing, so that's the analogy I wanted to use. But yes, another analogy is no pain, no gain.
Come on!
In terms of weightlifting, you have to exercise those muscles, so pain or negativity or whatever it is serves a purpose, because it's a lesson, and life is all about a teachable moment. And I'm not going to go into detail, but I know you comprehend this. There's a rough actor and there's a perfect actor. And that comes with time.
Come on.
And I'm going to leave it at that because I don't have much time. But I would love to elaborate on more than just that.
My brother. Come on, J-Dub! Yes!
In the house.
A word has been given. All right, J-Dub. Guess what you just did?
Yeah, bro, South Central in the house, man. Have a good night, man.
Yes, sir. South Central in the building. When we come forward, we going to Hawaii.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. By any other name, we demand environmental justice in 2024 and beyond. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, on low Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face. When it smells just right, just right, just right. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
The
possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Living like we bulletproof. We bang, 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 bang. I said we loaded, cock and name and shoe. Oh, we loaded, cock and name and shoe. Some will die over oil, kill over land, charge 'em for taxes and blame Uncle Sam. Read your rights and charge 'em for nothing. Now who's really gangster? And tell me who's frontin'. Murder your sons, ravish your daughters. Here, overseas, and across those borders. Tanks and missiles, bombs and grenades. Inject your land with guns and aid. You better pray to the Most High or whoever you pray. The politicians can't help you, they're just puppets and slaves. Trying to get paid, and you are too. What you gonna do when the gun is pointed at you? Like bank robbers,
There's nothing quite as devastating as a child with post-traumatic stress disorder. So as a trauma researcher, I work with kids every day to try and identify, manage, and ultimately heal from their trauma. And I want to help you. You may be thinking that this is the most depressing job on the planet, but it's not, actually. It's incredibly rewarding. And I actually got started on this journey, believe it or not, when I was 14. Because that's when my mum sat me down and she told me that she'd been diagnosed with a terminal illness and that she would soon die. It was the worst sentence I've ever heard. And unfortunately, it set me on a cascade of trauma that would take me the better half of a decade to heal from. So how did I heal? Now, the term trauma is used a lot nowadays, especially on social media. But what does it actually mean? Trauma, or traumatic stress, is the negative, long-term response to an event or a set of events that a person perceives as horrifying and highly distressing. Now, the important part here is the person perceives it as horrifying. So it's actually not the event itself, it's the response. This means that I might find something traumatic, but the next person might not. And there are a bunch of variables that can influence this. And trauma might be more common than you think. So 1 in 10 Australians will be diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, in their life. Now,
woo, she's cooking. Man, this show flew by like that. Like, you understand me, but I got to get my brother in here. John from Mountain View, Hawaii. Aloha, brother. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
Aloha, greetings and blessings all. I'll be definitely brief on this one due to the fact that, yes, like the Matrix, yeah, there's this post-traumatic. But there's also the problem of choice, because you could choose the distress or you could choose to heal. That's all on you. Yes, it is traumatic to go through certain things. You can't just look at it and face it like, oh, I'm going to make it through this. No, my mama said she was going to kill me, yo. But at the same time, I am 53 years deep in living.
How about that?
The choice is the problem.
Keep going.
So again, back to the point of, it could be the Matrix, and you could be standing in front of the architect, and the problem could be choice. But I lean towards even a bigger book called the Bible.
Come on.
And it says today, choose you this day. Because it's this moment that you have to make the choice.
Come on.
This one.
Right.
And that's it.
And the choice.
Make your choice.
Wait, this deep though. The choice makes you a co-creator of either what you want or don't want.
Andy, where's the organs at?
Hey! My brother. Hey, John, man, thank you for always being here and supporting, brother. We appreciate you, man. You brought Mountain View, Hawaii in the building. Hey, we at the end of the show. But peep game. Just because we have these conversations, we would never postulate as if we were correct in anything that we had to say. We just want to have deep conversations. And tonight just so happens to be post-traumatic growth, right? Which is the idea that people can experience positive psychological changes after struggling with challenging or traumatic life events. PTG can also include internal, mental, emotional, and psychological growth in such areas as self-perception, interpersonal relationships, philosophy on life, self-awareness, self-confidence, openness towards others, appreciation for life, new possibilities, personal growth, and spiritual change. I just wanted to give us a different lens with which to look at it because, damn, isn't it easy, almost infectious, like a type of flu, to be a victim, right? It's like a spiritual influenza, right? Victimhood. And it's like, no, you don't have to be a victim. And of course, the victim deserves to be heard. But let me tell you something. Nobody taught us that the most important ear is the inner ear, the ear within us. Man, let me tell you something about that inner ear. Don't you know you cannot be separated from God? So anything you hear, you say, God hears you say. Anything you say about you, God hears you say it about you. I know people don't want to put it that way, don't want to hear it that way, but I'm here to tell y'all, we got a lot of work to do, and I want to walk with you as we do it. We started the week off strong. I'll be back tomorrow with another slapper. You already know what it is. The voice of reason. I'm out till tomorrow. Deuces.
So babe, believe in me. Why go searching elsewhere, looking when you've been hurting for the real thing? Since I'm here before your eyes, let's make love till sunrise.